Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Good evening, Chris. I tell you what, I'm so grateful that we decided to set up this podcast because after watching that, I'm a big bag of emotions because I'm kind of a bit pissed off because they're dragging this sucker out. I really wanted to see this recoupling tonight, but they're going to make us wait until Monday. But also, I'm loving the different dynamics between the different people, and I need to get some emotions out there. So where do you want to start today?
It's got to be with the man of the hour at the moment, Dave. He's almost turning into Alan Partridge for me. He's Carrington. That guy is fucking deluded. 101. He's so. I just think he's so chauvinistic when I watch it now. He's just like he doesn't give a fuck about any of these girls. He's in there, like you said yesterday. It's a 18 to 30 fucking trip for this guy. But he's coming across so arrogant and not genuine. I mean, look, he's about as genuine as fucking Mercedes is, Dave. Let's be honest. Mercedes' fucking play for Carrington was even worse than what she did with Johnny. It was terrible. So I think them two deserve each other, if I'm being honest. And he's still fucking around with the idea of a Kirsten, isn't he? Which is like, if Kirsten got anything about her, she will go nowhere near that clown.
To be fair, I'll come back onto Carrington for a minute. What I do want to say is, you know what, Chris, I am really liking Caleb. I just like his kind of chilled vibe, but he just talks fucking sense. He seems normal, you know.
Yeah.
He's called Johnny out, you know. Well, he sort of said he's not going to judge him, but you know, he reminded him about Sally and what have you. And to be fair, it was Caleb saying about, you know, there's a third option, and you could always, you know, the person you are coupled up with is Kirsten. But I don't think Carrington sees that as an option. I think that's a closed door for him. I don't think Kirsten thinks that way. But there's something hugely, you said it, Carrington, he's so arrogant, but I think he's kind of superficial as well. I just, yeah, he doesn't come across well for me at all. And I must admit, I was a bit surprised that he chose Mercedes to go on the date.
Yeah, I was, to be honest, because I think with him, that's what I'm saying. She's not genuine at all. So it's like, well, what is he seeing here, Carrington, at all? For me, Dave, it's just and I'm not just blaming Mercedes at all for this because I understand what she's doing. However, it's like she's there for a good time and he is. That's it. It's just to have a bit of a passionate, liaison with somebody, but you're messing with other people's emotions. That's the whole point of the show, isn't it? If there's not a couple that splits, then Love Island would be fucking shit, wouldn't it? Really, if I just coupled up on day one and that was it for the rest of the thing, I totally get it. But I think the way that dynamic's gone, and obviously, like you said, and I think you were right yesterday. You said, well, to be honest, Johnny pretty much shut the door on her. They're just not nice people, I don't think, Dave. Just really aren't nice people, either of them. I can't warm to either of them. I just think they're a pair of, I'm not going to see you next Tuesday, shall we say, but there you go.
I mean, they're grade A narcissists, aren't they? Both of them.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, like you say, I do think they deserve each other. Mercedes, you know, she's clearly there. She's making a play to get back into the villa, to be on screen as much as she can, to increase that social media following and maybe get a bit of a, you know, minor celebrity lifestyle out of it. That is Mercedes' game. So, you know, I think, to be fair, you know, she has mixed things up a bit because although we're calling him out for it, kind of makes brilliant TV.
Yeah.
But I just think I think he's a better match. If I was actually to try and match them, you know, I think he does fit better with Laurel. But and you know, she's clearly thinking the same. She's thinking, you know, this. She's not shown any interest in anyone else. But he's like, yeah, I just want to sort of keep my options completely open. And then, you know, though, even when he's like talking to Mercedes, there's the way he's sort of sat back and he's sort of looking down. It just is very chauvinistic for me. I don't like his vibe at all.
No, and I think as well, Dave, when you're looking at like the dynamics of the group, I was laughing at Mackenzie as well, to be fair. You know, she's with Jalen and she's like, I'm a real loyal girl. And I'm like, don't think so. Don't think so. Connor's there fucking stroking and feeling up your fucking teddy bear for you that you put in his case. You soon forgot about Mr. fucking Cuddles or whatever he's called, you know. So I don't fucking believe that for him. I
How could she
slated.
say how loyal she is? But we see this, Chris, on Love Island all the time, don't we? Where,
Yeah.
someone else does something, it's terrible, but if I do it, it's okay. And the way people forgive themselves for things, I cannot believe she had the gall to say how loyal she was.
Yeah, I was pissing myself, Dave. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I think, and you're right. I've said this before. Is this like a human nature thing? Forget them. I've said it about the UK one. Are we all like that, Dave? It's all what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander, and that's what it's like, isn't it? If I do it, it's fine. It's a laugh. If you do it to me, though, we're going down. We're fucking getting the gloves on
Yeah,
and thrashing it out. So yeah, it always makes me piss on this. And I think, I tell you what, Dave, watching the relationships build. So you look at Mackenzie, but you're looking at Moira there with Aaron. That's developed. Even, he did the old trick at the end of the. I mean, they took him there. I love the fact that we've been to Vegas and I know exactly where they are in the Cromwell, and they just took him into a shop and put a chair into one of the fucking patisseries, Dave, and made it into like this, this little coffee shop they've got into. It is like a shop of sorts, but they're having to play with the scenery, aren't they? Because they haven't got much to go off. They've got to
yeah,
contain within that hotel. So I do like what they're doing there. But I think Aaron did the old classic. It was almost at the cinema level of yawning and putting his arm around him. And he goes, "Oh," and he went, "Yeah, can we have a hug?" And then he just fucking got hold of her and was like, "Yeah, we're going in for a kiss." And she didn't really have much choice. Now, she did reciprocate, but I thought it was a little bit naughty. And then you look on the flip side, Calvin is shitting himself, isn't he, Dave? I don't know what's happened to him. I mean, he does a bit of dancing and that. But he genuinely, is
is
it
that what you called it?
Cher? Well, something like that. Cher, she was really like up front, but I don't think she's into him at all.
No.
She is purely using him to get in the house, like you said about Mercedes, just to get that extra bit of exposure, bit more me time in the villa and get the cameras on him. Yeah, there's nothing between them two, but Calvin's falling for it, the donut completely.
Yeah, I don't think they suit each other. Cher is, oh crikey! Again, I say they're all different degrees of 10, but she's definitely up by the top, isn't she? I think she's gorgeous, but I don't see her going well with Freckles. And
No,
he is. You can tell he's falling for her, and she's not. She's not pushing him away because why would she? Again, she can get in the villa. Now, to be fair, I don't think she's making a particularly aggressive play or anything. So, like Mercedes is, but it's like if this guy, is really digging me and gets me into the villa, happy days. So,
yeah.
so I don't, I can't see anything wrong with what she's doing at all. But if we can just go back to Mackenzie, Chris. So Jalen, I think, has played a great game up until tonight, right? And he's properly snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, I think. Because the whole thing that prompted Mackenzie to suddenly reinvent herself as this loyal woman, in a veil and everything, is because Jalen was like, I just asked that we don't go too fast, and we take things slow. And she's like, huh, so he's keeping his options open, whereas Connor was like all in from day one. So, and I love old Matt Hoffman there. He's like, she's pissed off at him because he's keeping his options open. So she's going to keep her options open. So she's doing exactly the thing that it's this weird kind of because they're just bunch of twats, Chris.
You know what though, Dave?
Tripping over my words here, and I'm thinking, because he's doing the same, she's doing the same because he's doing it. It's like, the hypocrisy, Chris.
Yeah, it runs deep, David. You know what I love as well is you're looking. I say love because I'm sure if it was our kids or it was us, you'd be like, "Oh, he's fucking terrible." But Connor and Sally are both absolutely nailed on what their partners have done. And Sally even said to him, "Well, if to Justin, if he gets with someone and he's kissed with him and he's he's trying to exploit that." I think that's going to be it. We're over. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck. Well, Johnny's definitely fucked now. And then fucking Connor's there going, I really think there's something between us. And good old Carrington, Dave, is the worst person ever to give him a pep talk because he's telling him, it was almost as if they'd seen what was going on in the main house. And he's giving him the worst fucking pep talk ever. You know, and Connor, I did feel sorry for Connor because I've given him a load of shit the last few days and sort of half justify what Mackenzie's done. But Connor did say, and I felt a bit sorry for him then, he did say, I'm not very good at expressing how I feel, but I really like it. And I was thinking, oh, shit, he's fucked now, Dave. I'm telling you. I just can't see it. He's going to get that teddy and rip it to fucking pieces. And across the road from where they're staying, Dave, is a Build-A-Bear, so we can go and get a replacement at the end of this program. Because I got one for Jordan years ago.
Cheer himself up with some M&Ms. Oh God, I'm still loving these shots of Vegas, Chris. I must admit, when they sort of pan out and stuff, and you can see it. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful.
It is. I'll tell you what, though, Dave. We did see Pat. Pat spoke tonight, and we saw DeAndre at the end. These two fuckers have not even been featured at all. Between them two and Gigi, there's been nothing. They have not been. It's so obvious when you watch. I mean, keep going on about this, but I feel sorry for them because they're probably lovely people, but they've just not really had any real airtime.
But why would you feel sorry for them, Chris? They're a fucking all-inclusive bloody holiday when the rest of us are stuck at home, fucking locked in our houses, apart from going to the shops. So don't feel fucking sorry for them. So there was a little clue in what Pat said when he was talking to Kirsten. He said, like, you know, I was so caught up in just going with the flow and everything that, you know, I'm kind of reminded that there's a recoupling. So I don't think he's made an effort to really speak to anyone or do anything. So in other words, he's just been shit TV. So that's why we haven't seen him, I reckon.
Okay, fair enough. Can't even come back with anything. You're probably right. Anyway,
let me just say about Connor as well. I had exactly the same thought. I mean, I haven't gone in quite as hard on him as you have, but the fact is he hasn't done anything intentionally malicious. He's just been a bit shit at communicating, and Mackenzie was the initial problem, in my opinion. You know, the way she was being off with him, and like it was like they'd been married for years kind of thing, and then he's ogling other girls at the beach or something. You know, it's like she was giving him a much harder time, and then he was struggling to be able to deal with that. And then he was doing the whole shit, can you be my girlfriend? No, we're moving too fast thing. That was a bit shit. But it's not malicious, so I can't think too badly of him. It's not like Carrington, where he's just like, hey, fucking 1830s holiday. Let's fucking dip my wick wherever I can. You know, that is you know, distasteful behaviour for me. Whereas Connor's just been a bit crap. And the fact that he has been so loyal. So we know that Johnny, you know, I'll throw a prediction out there. So Johnny's going to walk back on his own, isn't he? But will Sally actually forgive him for the whole Mercedes thing? You know, Mercedes. I reckon Carrington's going to choose Mercedes. I wouldn't even if Carrington is 50-50, I reckon the producers will be like, come on, you know Mercedes is great gold TV. You know, she mixes it up a bit, and then you're going to have her, and then that's going to be an extra dynamic, because if Sally knows, it's different. If Sally knows Johnny kissed someone who she never meets, it's very different to Johnny kissed this person who's living with us now in the villa.
Yeah, that's true. That's Dave. It's TV at the end of the day, and it's ratings. They've got to do it. I think so as well. And looking at people coming in, there's going to be some. I mean, Justine was very upset with Kate, thinking about Caleb. He's not going to let her down, Dave, at all. I did think his head was swayed the other day. It's not. He's going to get back in with Justine. That's a certain, and they could actually end up being the actual front runners, really, to actually win it. So. Yeah. I think there's a chance there. She seems really genuine. He is. I know I'd called her out what she did earlier on with Rachel and that, but it's worked out. I think there's a genuine connection. She was getting upset, so like, I've not been anyone's first pick. I think she deserves more than that. But looking at all of us, Johnny and Sally, I think you could be onto some of those. I think Sally, give him a load of shit, gets upset, gets everyone round her, but I think she may forgive him. And Johnny's stupid because it made me laugh, Johnny. Fucking Dave. Has he never seen the show? He went, well, if he gets back to her, that was, I'm thinking, mate, they're going to show fucking video of that at some point. You've got to have watched some version of Casa Amor on the UK one. There's going to be something sent back to them.
Do you think? Because surely the time for that has been and gone. Surely they
Yeah,
normally
true.
send stuff back about halfway through. And Casa Amor is usually about a week, isn't it? I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they'll send, I'm sure in the UK one, they send like a newspaper or something. So it's still images with a little bit of a headline and stuff like that. Because it is Temptation Island, isn't it? Where they're showing them the actual footage. So yeah, I don't know. I think Johnny will have to explain it, but like I say, it'll be tougher to explain with Mercedes there. So that's why I think that's the way Carrington's going to go.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Dave, like, even if he doesn't explain it to her, no one says anything. As soon as they get out, they're going to be over if he doesn't explain it. So he's going to have to come clean. But what a fool. What a fool.
What? Like they're not going to be over anyway.
Don't ruin it, Dave. I'm thinking of the OK magazine they're going to get at the end of it. If there is an OK, I think there is an OK magazine in America. I've seen him when we've been in Vegas, the magazine stalls and that in New York. So I
I
think
mean,
so.
reflecting on it, it is a shame, isn't it? That I mean, again, Mercedes has gone in there to shake things up. And actually, so we did get a tweet from Muddy Woodhaven, and it says, I think Mercedes is a plant too. I'm calling it now. Carrington will take her back to the villa and she'll wreak havoc on Johnny and Sally. So,
Yeah.
kind of what we were saying before, that I absolutely, she has gone in to disrupt what was the strongest couple. And she's done it. Johnny had a few snogs, but he's fucked it up because they were absolutely the front runners, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. By a long way, Dave, a long way. And it is his own fault. He's an idiot for what he's done. There's no justification. And also, Dave, you talk about Carrington. We've had actually an email from our good friend Lorraine, and she sent one in, Dave, and it says, Super Spreader is the title of the email. Hi, Chris and Dave. The only thing better than Love Island USA is your episode recaps on your podcast. I'm loving watching as the drama unfolds and then listening to your hilarious takedowns. Oh my God, Carrington is a super spreader, acting like he is acting like he is at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Ooh, gross. Sorry, I had to read that again. I thought what was reading then. A big shout out to the narrator as he has some great one-liners. Long may the drama continue. It makes a great viewing. Bye for now, Lorraine. So thank you, Lorraine. We love your emails. We've got one offer for the VHS, haven't we, Dave Strikes Back, which we'll read on the show this next week. So brilliant.
Oh, Chris, that fucking American Pie episode. I just listened back to it and I'm like, oh, fucking hell, did we really, really a bit too candid, I think, weren't we, about our teenage shenanigans. But,
move on, Dave.
yes, let's move on quickly. But, so we did have another tweet as well. So from Susan over at Geek Girl Soup. And she says, I think the announcer referred to what's his name as Freckles. They've been listening to you. So, yeah, I did notice that as well. And I have to say, Chris, and apologies to Susan, because when we were doing one of our previous seasons, we had a bit of a mix-up with the email, didn't we? Because we'd set everything up, so cdrealitycast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And I know I hadn't set it up on my phone, and I'm like, Chris, are you monitoring the emails? Yeah. Which email were you monitoring, Chris?
CD reality podcast, I think, or something like that. Not the one we create. What happened? Let me tell the story. So, as Dave obviously never really said it on the Love Island cast. If you've been with us from the start, but we do that. We do obviously we've got 4 or 5 big podcasts, haven't we? We do, and when we have an idea, Dave can literally message me and say, I've got an idea. And we may have a 10-minute conversation, and me being Mr. Enthusiastic fucking Labrador gets completely involved, gets a logo done, I end up creating a theme tune. I then go and create the podcast, the email address, everything. And I didn't realise with the CD reality cast when we were changing the name from the Love Island cast, because we said it made more sense, didn't it? Because of all the different shows people were asking us to do. So I tried to create cdrealitycast@gmail.com and it's not available. And I thought, that's a bit strange. So I didn't even twig that, my co-host may have done it. So I created cdrealitycastpodcast@gmail.com and then messaged Dave and went, strange, He went, yeah, because I fucking created it. As if someone else is going to...
And I'm not sure, was it podcast or did he create pod or something?
Something like that.
I'm pretty sure I told you, but yeah, the professionalism that we have, Chris. But we
you've got, not me.
we ended up eventually put it on my phone, and I'm like, fucking hell, we got loads of emails. So we had some from Labour of Love, and I think it was Susan dropped us a voicemail as well. I was like, oh fuck, this was a month or so after we closed off the season, so. If you do email us at cdrealitycast@gmail.com, we are now monitoring the correct inbox. So, so we'll read it out, or if you send us a voicemail, we'll play it. Again, we love the interaction. And Chris, this is what I said before, isn't it? It's great doing things like, the retrospectives, like the Australian Love Island that was replayed. But I love it when it's live and then people are, interacting with us and, got their opinions, and these couples are strong and these ones, well, not so much this season, but, and these are a bunch of bastards. So, yeah, absolutely love that interaction.
Yeah, and you know what, though? To be fair, we did well with the Aussie one because I'd already seen it and I was trying my hardest not to ruin anything. I did a couple of times and you did the old fucking Inspector Clouseau. That means that they've not won it then, doesn't it, Chris? And I'm like, oh, shit. Because I was trying not to reveal, but my wording wasn't the best, Dave. If we're getting arrested, we're going down for a 5 stretch with me. You know that.
Things like... I can't even remember him being there. It's like, oh, right, okay, so he's gone then.
Yeah. I was trying my best, Dave. I was trying my best.
Yeah, I tell you what, you did really well, though. So old Grant Crap, had me fooled. I thought he was a top bloke, and then find out fucking he had a girlfriend on the outside the whole time and got back with her after the show. Yeah,
that's some relationship, that, Dave. For letting him say he loves somebody else just to go further in the show. That was fucking horrendous. That was a good show, though. That was a good series. But no, it's good this day. And I've got to say, this US one so far, and we're at the halfway mark now, has been the best. It's better than the first series by a fucking country mile. It really is. And I'm not sure whether it'll be the best, one of the best ever. I don't know. But it's the DNA of what Love Island is about, and I think it's going to help the fact that it's 6 weeks, not 4, like the first series, because they were on an island in Fiji, weren't they? It fucking pissed it down literally for the 4 weeks, and there was no real. You didn't have any emotional attachment to a lot of people because literally they came in, and 2 days later, loads of them were just getting voted out. So it was a bit like a Big Brother scenario. So this has been really good for me, I must admit.
Yeah, I would have preferred Casa Amor to happen kind of, around now. At the end of week 3 instead of the beginning of week 3. Because I'm sure previously, it was around the halfway point, but, it was closer to the end, I'm sure. But, no, it's great. And I think this is up there for me. We need a bit more a few more arguments, don't we? A bit more drama, or as far as you're concerned, Chris, a bit more blood on the walls.
Yeah.
But in terms of the relationships and the dynamics, and that is really interesting for me. So I'm really, really enjoying this series.
Yeah, I am, I must admit. So, like everyone has done and got in contact with us at the correct email address, apologies. And if you have sent something and thought, the pair of bastards haven't read them out to us, no, it's just simply that Chris was monitoring the wrong email address. So I take it all on my broad shoulders and I can only apologise. If you do want to contact us, the real email address is cdrealitycast@gmail.com, or if you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, @cdrealitycast. So, Dave, we're not going to be recording episode 18 because it's just a complete recap. We will be back on Sunday for episode 19.
I can't wait. The recoupling. I thought we were going to get it tonight, but I'm chomping at the bit. So, have a great weekend, Chris, and I'll see you next week.
And Dave, as you always say, bye now.